Oh. Oh, I know. I was in the middle of a reading and I had to sign back on. It was so quirky. I have 2 more reads to do, and let me see something. Oh my goodness! Finally, so our Corvus. So here's the thing. So you're my last read for the evening. I had another one with Jacqueline, but I do have to sign off. So you're after Valexian. I'm doing her second one because she got 2 of them. I've got. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm actually illustrating a tattoo of a Medusa. So yeah, I'll show you. It's really cool. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna do yours, and then I'm finishing Veluxian's Veluxian's reading the second one. Yeah, because Medusa is very. I'm a really big Medusa fan. So, like, it's an important thing for me. I like it a lot. This, the whole mythology. All right, let's see. So I'm glad that you can hear me now. Yay, I'm back on. So yes, you're right after, and I'm finishing her second one. So, madam, how can I help you with the rest of your questions? Yeah, yeah, that's so cool. Oh, I see it. I'm sorry. I see it. I see your question. My next question is, will Eric, God, it's so tiny on the mobile YouTube. On TikTok, it's bigger. Oh, let's see. Of course, I have a big distance from the camera. So my next question is, okay. Yes. You have to well, okay, there's a different way to answer that question, but yeah, hang on. Right, I got you. I mean, you got to realize, I'm chipping away at it, but you got to realize, you texted him, he hasn't answered you, and the way that date ended because you didn't show him affection. I get what you're saying. That so okay, you gotta understand where I'm coming from. When I did a reading, I said to you, don't let that rising Scorpio or whatever, get in the way, because I see that you're going to have to communicate with him. I forgot the words I used. I recorded it, so it's somewhere on the public library of my readings. But, basically I said something like, you gotta connect with it, and then you go have a date, and I get that you're saying the atmosphere sucked and you tried and everything, but he still left weirded out. So there's now an awkward situation. you can't really do anything right now because you texted him already, right? So you know, either you text him some more or you don't. So there's nothing really to really do because it's one of those awkward spots where he's got to call you or text you, or you have to. I mean, it's not. There's really no option right now because you're between you're between in other words, you know, you wrote him and he hasn't responded. So it's really like you're not leaving it alone because you did your part, and he's having conflicted feelings, you know, not like to not be with you, but like internally he's got a lot, you know, that he's feeling, as we talked about. So it's there's really him and kiss his butt, and you know, and he's gonna reach out. He's your boyfriend. So I guess that question would be how to go about it when things start up again, however they start up. Then it would be what we went over in the reading. You know, it would be that you would wake up the affection, you talk more to him. So the question you're asking is valid, but readings don't make people call people back. A reading doesn't, you know, force change on somebody. Magic does, not a reading. A reading is for information. So the question you're asking doesn't really fit what's going on. You did respond. You did reach out sweetly. He has not. So, and we know it's not over. So it's just a matter of when it picks up again naturally, that's when you go about it the way the reading suggested. So let's go on to the next question, because that one is quirky to answer right now because of those texts. And I just want to say something too. I'm not here to tell anybody how to communicate, but my suggestion is the phone is very sweet. There's nothing wrong with text, but when you're getting, you know, listening to each other's voices is very sweet. And it's closer than a text, even though there's a lot of emotion that can be shared with text. I understand that. I'm a writer, so words can represent a lot of emotion. But when you can hear his voice, yeah, right, I understand. Yeah. So if there's a lack of affection and he's puzzled, and you are only relying mostly on text, that makes even more distance. Text is good when the bond is good. Then it doesn't matter. But when the bond is not set yet, then I think the voice is important. I just wanted to say that. So there's not really anything for you to do. You've done your part right now. Now the ball's on his court, but there's issues. There's issues that the reading brings up with the uncle. So what happened at the pizza place was because you know, the instructions of the reading before weren't followed. I'm not trying to say, oh, you didn't follow what I said. I'm not like that. But I'm just trying to tell you that you were told that there has to be more connection. I talked about aviation, you know, the way that you should, you know, there's more, like he needs more affection. He needs more stimuli that he doesn't know he's trying. So because of that, you would think, oh my God, I didn't even realize it slipped. I know, but it was addressed before. You got to be like really, really aware. You know, it's little things that slide by. Little things slide by that are told in readings, and that's very normal. Like when I said to you, cut all connections, and then all of a sudden there's a connection that's open to this dingbat, and that can open up a whole other can of worms, you know? So, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? It's little things that slide in readings that are mentioned where you got to be like, oh, okay, you know? Yeah, but you should have done that ages ago. but as so, yeah, but it's, it's, we don't know if there's a thing with that. Okay, so what was the other one? The other one was on Ryan, yes? Or no, not Ryan. You said it was another coworker? Oh, no, wait, you didn't give me the question yet. I don't know. I don't think you gave me the question. I think we could do 3 more. I have time for 3 more questions. And then I'm going to take Corvino's reading. Hugo's saying you need a life. Yeah, okay, I'm an astrologer if that's what you like. If you want to know like the big, the bad, the ugly type of what's your destiny, what you're meant to do. My astrology is 85, but if you would prefer looking at right now the scenario and you don't want to know like long time future, just like what's happening like in a couple months, we could do a tarot for 25 and stuff like that. Okay. All right, Valexian, has Ryan interest improve on you? Okay, we're going to just look into what he thinks. Hang on, let me connect. Ryan. Okay, no worry, Corvus, no worries. I will. Okay, so let me explain. Oh, and I have to ask this. Okay, so let me explain what's going on with that connection. Okay, can you hear me? Testing, testing. Let's see. Shisui, yes, I do see your question. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you want to book a reading, you can. I'll be able to fulfill it tomorrow because I have to sign off after the 2 reads I'm doing now. But I'm here daily, and if you want to book one, it's $25. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so you hear me? Okay, so he apparently has been given a great deal of thought in reference to your troubles. Obviously, the Scorpio has told him everything, which you already know. But it's something that now he looks at you like a person that feels jaded. Apparently, there's been some gossip updates on you. like you're hurt. So this lets me know you spoke to the Scorpio, and there's been some expression, because there's kind of like a reawakening of the way he sees your past and what you've been through, and the way that you're hurt. So he's aware of the way that that you're hurt, that you're suffering because of all this stuff. And the Scorpio has gone to town, telling him his versions of you, like an Ashley report, which is very intrusive. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Have a good one. Okay, this also talks about him, spying on you, spying on your content. And he sees that you seem to him, he's a Pisces, so he's going to naturally read you and you won't want him to. So a Pisces can pick up on a great deal of information, whether they're intuitive or not. He's a Pisces sun, so there's going to be something about him that sees what maybe you don't want him to notice. Not everything, but what you don't want him to notice. So he feels that you're sad. And he feels that you don't really want to be at your job. There's something awkward there. He's aware of it. Let me tell you what he feels about you. This hopefully will not confuse you. He looked at you in the beginning as attraction. He was attracted to you right away. He thought you were really pretty. He wanted to lure you into his game, and the goal was for you to lure him into your game, but you didn't know how, and you ran into some stress with that. You hurt his ego, and that, you hurt his ego, and that kind of did it. So after that, he said no, because he's a Pisces. And a Pisces will not accept being hurt. They're like that. That's the one thing. 1 minute somebody just talks to them the wrong way, they'll be like, okay. Yeah, that's how Pisces are. I'm a Pisces moon. I know. So it just takes that 1 minute where you make the shit list. So that didn't erase his attraction to you. So when he looks at you, he still felt this. You got to realize that for a couple of days, he fantasized about you. A couple of days, he was like, ooh, I like her. She's pretty. I want to get to know her. And it didn't work out that way. So that doesn't mean he sees you now and he's like Barfaroo. No, he still finds you attractive. He still finds you pretty. He still desires you on that level. But he doesn't want anything else with you. So being a male, males can detach for the most part and have something physical, and that's it. And then the emotional only comes in when they want to set root and they want to commit, and it's the whole big deal. Where females, it's more that all is intertwined, usually. There's some exceptions, but for the most part, there's this like in love feeling with, there's an attachment there. It's like, it's different for a woman. So anyway, he looks at you because he still feels, attraction. He was curious about you. But now it's almost like it turned into morbid curiosity. And what do I mean by that? Well, because he found out all these troubles about you. And he was like, whoa, really? She's been through all that? Oh my God, that's drama. So there's no love, there's no connection, there's nothing in there. It was just that, imagine if you find someone very attractive and you like them and they mistreat you right away and you go, bye. And then you deal with them again, and you still think they were hot. You were still gonna look at them once in a while, just out of curiosity if you were single, but you're not gonna sit there. It's different because you're a girl, but you can understand the story. You'd look at them every once in a while and be like, oh, they're good looking, but okay, drama, I don't need all that. And then you'd learn more things, like from a friend. And the friend would spill tea that sometimes was not real. Sometimes the tea was BS, like what the Scorpio did. It was mixed. you'd be like, oh wow, he's really good looking, but no thank you, bye. But you'd still kind of look. So this is how you understand the Pisces. Take it or leave it, that's the explanation. That's what's going on with him. And nowhere in there does he say, oh my God, I really want her, I want her to be my girlfriend. No, he's attracted to you, but he's curious because of so much gossip. He needs hobbies, clearly. All right, one more question. What can I do for you, sweetheart? What are you curious about? And then it's time for, I forgot their name. Is it true that soulmates will have an age gap? No. That's not true. They can or they may not. It's not based on age. It's based on your past life and the karmas of your love life that you inherit from your mother, your father, and the moment of conception, and your past life and your past life love karmas is what sets this life for your love karmas. Okay, let's see. So you don't know what else to ask? Uh-oh. How about the Scorpio's intentions? Can I ask that? I'm curious about it. Okay, what sign is Mike? Is that a Gemini or I don't know who Mike is. I'm not aware of any Mike. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, I'm confused. Does the Scorpio work with you? Because I'm seeing that he's going to be running to Ryan, telling him something about, I need to know what this work information that I see is coming from. I will read it and you can answer me after I say it if you want. So I see a person going to someone that has rank, authority, money, opportunity, and it's a person trying to transfer or trying to maybe there's a sense of coming from a distant place or to change and getting approval from higher ups. So either he's gossiping to Ryan about your future work. Okay. So either he's gossiping to Ryan about future work, okay, you already heard what I read, right? So to understand it, if it's about you, then the Scorpio would have to know details about your work future, work direction, work choices, where he could run to Ryan to give him like gossip or updates. If it's not regarding you, then it's going to Ryan to tell him something about either him, it's someone else, but it's gossip about someone else relating to what I said. So either way, the answer doesn't change, but I don't know if it fits Ryan. The Scorpio, gossiping about you or gossiping about the job itself or something that Ryan needs to know. Because it's him running to Ryan in a gossip-like manner to jibber jabber about this drama that I see there. Okay. So there's got to be something where he is running to, so then it's not about you, then it's just about him. So yes, so the current energy that opens the reading with the Scorpio is, or Scorpio M, because I read for so many Scorpios. Scorpio M. What opens the reading for Scorpio M is Ryan gossip job work. Okay, and a transfer. Somebody's leaving. Somebody's trying to sign up and do something else or leave. Something's going on where a person's job is on the line. Okay, so then that's what it is. So that's why it's another unit. Yeah, okay. So that's what it is. Okay? So now, I hate this bra. Ugh, sorry. I'm so unprofessional. It's always like, I want to pull out the strings. Sorry. Okay, a coworker of mine is going into the, okay. Whatever it is, he's running to Ryan. Whatever it is, he's running, he's running to Ryan with the gossip. So my question is, why is it, so this is not to you, this is just like sharing my curiosity. Why is it that this Scorpio M dude is so obsessed with having Ryan be his buddy? I think it has to do with you. The fact that he wants to like one up you and be like, haha, I'm friends with him and you like him and like it's a power trip. It's a power trip. He is a power trip. He's so annoying. Okay. Coworker got into ice and told her not to bring me up. Oh, you're talking about that's why in the reading, that's why when I was doing a reading on Eric, that's why a money thing showed up and I left it alone because it had nothing to do with him. I asked with the runes and Spirit was like, nah, that's another drama. I'm like, but, okay. And I went the other way. That's why. I knew there was something, but it wasn't a work reading or anything like that. And I didn't want to get into those two turkeys. So I let it be, but that's what it was. Okay, it's okay. I didn't mention it anyways because I was the outlier and it was separate. Well, that's fine. So it sounds like there's a lot there. You know what? This should have been the style reading instead of for Shun. It should have been this one. I already did question format, but that would have been we would have found the story, the juicy one. But that's okay. You're already knowing the most of the gossip anyway because of your friends. Okay. I suggest you don't tell her too much about the Leo. I suggest that you talk to her about work and about, other things. Your love life should be quiet. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. It's an intelligent suggestion to have boundaries, to take care of your life situation. So let me get this straight. You're going into Border Patrol, but that's not yet. Do they know that? Does Ryan know that? because he's ice and so is the other one, right? Okay, I see. But you're not there yet. But you're going to be. Does he know that? Because that's important in the way that he looks at you. We're talking the Pisces. No, that's fine. That's fine that they don't know. Okay, so let me find out what the part of with you. He's going to be moving on. The Scorpio M is going to be moving on from being fixated on to... Okay, but you're not, right? You're not going in that direction, right? You're doing BT. I mean BP, sorry. Yeah. That made a difference to the Pisces, but it doesn't make a difference to the Scorpio. It'll bug him a bit because there's a whole challenge thing with him. The Pisces would put you, see you in a different light, but that's besides the point. So yes, I see that the Scorpio didn't get his way. He's seeing that now. His tactic didn't lead to anything. You showed him a resistance. You showed him your bloody temper. You know, like just the way you feel. Like he's seeing it just did not give him the result. So I see that he is going to have a change. I see that he's going to be broke. I see that he's up into some hot water. He's going to fix it eventually. He's going to be maneuvering some things. I see him in a different direction, and I also see that he's going to be focused on something else, not you. Yeah. But BP was the best for you anyway. Remember in the career read, it was the best direction for you and has been for a long time. Remember that? Yeah. I mean, whatever gets you in the fastest. Who cares? Like anything, everything. Put it all in there. Do it all. But BP would be like the one, Yeah. I mean, from a career standpoint, I remember. So I see this dissipating. I see that the connection with him is not going to continue. He's going to even have a new friend in his life soon. And there might be a Leo woman that he starts to connect with, which I think is interesting because you're dating a Leo and he's going to be meeting a Leo. Yeah, it'll stop. It'll stop. It's already starting to stop. He's got too many problems. Yeah. So that's it. That's it. That does it. Keep me posted on the connection with your boyfriend, so that wakes up and then at that point just be alert. Didn't you have a dream with that the person that is not mentioned? I don't say anything, but didn't you have a dream with that person not that long ago? When was the dream that you had? Tell me the dream. Don't tell me the dream. Tell me the day that you had that dream. You see what I'm telling you? Okay, what was it? Wednesday? No, not Wednesday. No, it was not Wednesday. That Wednesday was the dream of the Scorpio. What was the dream before that? Okay, I got it. September 2nd. You heard me? Valexian, September 2nd. Okay. Neptune in Aries was having a sextile. Okay, and Mercury entered Virgo with a Capricorn moon. Okay. No. September 2nd was that. So that means so 13 days. So 13 days, and then he reaches out to you. Okay. No, you told me Tuesday. You told me September 2nd. When Saturn entered Pisces. Okay, that's fine. Right, so 13 days. That means you gotta increase if you're gonna do the spiritual dreaming kind of thing. You gotta increase your skills so that you have more time than 13 days. You know what I mean? So like when you read tarot or you're doing dreams or whatever, having dreams, I mean, you gotta increase it so that you have, when you do readings, you got to do more future. You got to, and that comes with, different techniques and things, because you only had 13 days. That's not enough time. But yeah, so you knew that something with that person was floating around, and now Shun reaches out. So yeah, very, very interesting. You can't ignore that. Okay. All right. So pay attention to your dreams and things, okay? Very, very much so. So that would be it. Like I said, there could be another challenge for you and Eric, but it's not, there's a whole new, the reading, we went over it, but yeah, it's gonna be, if you got to figure out what direction you got to figure out. Hopefully that gave you clarity. All right, sweetheart, thank you so much. What was the name of the person? Okay, let's see. What was the name? Dune's Cat. Dune's Cat? Thank you, sweetheart. I'll talk to you soon. Is that you, Corvus? Are you Dune's Cat? Oh, what's wrong? Oh, Valexian, what's wrong? Is that I can't tell. Is that a sad emoji? or angry emoji? Oh, okay. No worries, honey. Thank you. Dune's cat. Yes, there you are. Okay. What can I help you with, sweetheart? Did you send me a text on stuff? Oh, no, that was Jacqueline. Okay. No, because Jacqueline, I'll do hers tomorrow. Yeah, let me just mark this one. Oops. Let me just mark this one. Okay. There we go. All right, sweetheart. So what can I help you with? What this reading is usually to answer a pressing, burning question. Something stressing the person out. I don't do that in this kind of reading, unfortunately. I don't do generals because the reason that I cut that out of my shop is because I would start doing generals. And what happens is the person will say, oh, I don't want to talk about that, or I don't, it doesn't, it eats up the 25 minutes like that. I can, it's just something that didn't fit the stream. I do them on a private level, but not a stream level. Private readings, yes, because we can communicate and yeah. So this kind of reading, the $25 reading is the style, the design that it's for is when a person says, I need clarity, should I sign that contract? Should I go on a date with him? What does his mother think about me? Should I trust my friend? Like a real important question that a person needs clarity on that fits the current time. Not like, where am I going to be in 30 years? Because that would be astrology, So it gets deep into giving guidance, clarity. It opens up the situation. So if a person doesn't have a specific question, sometimes it could be an area of concern. Like if they say, well, I don't really know what to ask, but I know that this scenario is bothering me. Can I get some clarity on it because I don't really know how to ask it. But it has to do with moving, and I don't like that roommate, but it's the only option I have. Something like that where it's a scenario. We can do it like that. We can do it concern-based or question-based. Okay, so I don't do I don't do anything on anything magical or guides or anything like that unless you're one of my students. Like coaching, it says it on my disclaimer. When you go to click the reading, it says, it does say it. Because some people ask me magical questions, spirit guide questions. I have no idea. I deal with my team to give clarity, my ancestors, my spirit team, so that I give clarity to others. But as far as your relationship with what you do and all of that, unless it's a coaching situation, I don't know. I do readings and types of techniques where people get to know their guides. It's spiritual development. But I'm a stranger to them. So, it's a process to kind of, if you know who they are and there's no invader or anything, I'm sorry about that. But basically, like, for example, love, career, family issues, maybe there's like a, baby daddy drama, or maybe it's like a friend issue, maybe it's something with business or something with career or, jobs, love life, those are the questions that I do. There's a lot of clients that I deal with on a spiritual level, but it's a different type of client. Like their house is haunted, or they need a cleanse, or stuff like that, and those become my spell clients, because then they hire me not as a reader or diviner, fortune telling, whatever, divination, but they hire me more like as a magical practitioner. So then my angle with them and my relationship with them is more like, okay, let's just cut to the magic. You see? You didn't know, that's okay. Can I help you with anything? Anything that is, are you having a series of dreams, or is there anything in particular you're worried about? I mean, if life is great, then you know. I mean, are you asking for a reading because you want to know what your spirits are telling you? Yeah. But I wanted to say something. For example, I just wanted to explain to you. You don't go to anyone else unless you're being coached, but you don't go to anyone else. And again, you could do whatever you want, but I'm saying generally, a person doesn't go to a diviner, reader, psychic, whatever, to find out what your spirit guides want. You go to the reader because their spirit guides are giving you guidance because that's their destiny. So my team is kind of put together so that I can read for others and help them. That's what my path is. But yours have their own things. Now they're going to align with the reading that I give because I help align people. So they'll be like, oh, thank you, because we needed the help. But if you want to bring them into the voice and you want to do all of that, that's a process, of a lot of things. It takes a lot of cleansing. It takes a lot of things. I don't know what level you're at. I don't know what stage you're at. Maybe you're very advanced. Maybe, well, not too advanced because you wouldn't be asking me. But I see what you're saying. And I just wanted to seem respectful. I wanted you to understand the way I operate. Yes, we could do it on the housing. Whether you want to move or not, is that the pressing? And now other things can come up in the reading because it's not a general, but I do add extra layers. So you might get some interesting things come up. Absolutely. That might hit on the nose with what you want. But at least I like to dive in delivering an answer. So the move and the housing, what is the question about that? The fact that you don't know if you should stay where you're at, or is it that you're not comfortable living there, or you're trying to buy a house? I don't understand the question. Okay, I understand. That's fine. Okay, so we'll just the reading might sound a little bit vague at first because we're hitting a scenario that might have a couple of variables, but it'll be fine. Okay, it'll be fine. So I'll just jump in that way, and if there's extra things, they will definitely pop in. So, okay. Are you a demonologist? Do you worship demons? Who do you work with? Do you identify as a certain denomination in magic? A certain spiritual path? Is there a certain spiritual path that you connect with? So I am seeing that you do have a spiritual path, a specific, how do you magically identify as, is my question. Okay. So the Kemetic order, okay, I gotcha. Which is, all of it is polytheism, of course. Multi, yeah. I see. Okay, so the Kemetic. But that's what you plan to do, but what are you coming from? That's your direction, right? But what was the entry point? Okay. So, any exploration of the Kabbalah in there that you work with, or just the new layer? Okay, so some people merge it. Some people just do the magical tradition and then, the mysticism. Yeah, okay. Not a problem. So the reason I was asking is because, obviously you're spiritual, and I was just, so a lot of things came up with that subject. So I was just trying to address it organized. Okay, so let's start with the reading. The reading shows that there's being misled. So this talks about not necessarily betrayal, because duplicity is very clear. But this talks about being under the guidance of something that is false. So misled. Not like conned, but it's when a person follows a mentor or guidance or something, advice or anything like that, where it's misleading them, and that's in the past. That's what shows up. So a person ends up in a situation that they should have said, why didn't I see that? Okay. The current situation also talks about manipulation. There can be magical warfare involved. So, for example, doing things for protection, but it also can, address a lot of sleuth type things where the person is not, there's some treachery, backstabbing, pain, difficulty. It shows that you're in a position that you really can't trust. So there's a lot of negative energy around you in a human way. Spiritually, I'll address that at the end, okay, because it's not a spiritual reading, but it does come up as a theme. So I would say the big problem is that your current situation, it talks about a person being misled. And it also talks about a person being, dealing with a manipulative, tricky situation where they were not, it's not fair. So if this is your housing situation, I could understand why you want to leave. So the solution does, balance itself out, because I do see yourself where friends open a door for you. So it's being social. So in other words, if you just make new ones, or something in the social atmosphere, it's like when a person, next thing you know, a door opens because of who you're mingling with or who your friends are. So your housing situation, whatever stress you have, will become resolved in the very near future, and it comes from the open door of a friend. Okay, so that's where it comes from. Sometimes it can be a perfect stranger, but in this situation, it's networking, friendliness, social. So I do see it resolved. So whatever jam you're in right now, it becomes resolved, which is important. But it also, I do want to stress, the people that surround you, for the most part, I'm sure you're already aware. I'm sure it's not, it talks about a person you really can't trust. It talks about one main toxic person, probably a male, but, I don't like to always, I'd rather just focus on the energy of the person, and the person just seems to me like a cynical, very controlling, manipulative, okay, is how I would describe it. But also very smart. So it's someone who's slick, someone who, they're underhanded. All right, so we're going to continue. So, so the hope and direction here also talks about you having the desire, the strength, the focus to go get yourself in a better spot. Some people, their energy is kind of depleted, and they kind of laze around. I don't see you like that. I see you going after what you want to find a means to an end. So to solve your problem, and I do see that you accomplish that. It's not perfect. I'm not saying there's a perfect resolution here, because I do see that there's a lot of issues surrounding you. But nonetheless, you move forward. I guess that's just how you are. I don't know about you, but this seems to me like you don't wait around for people to solve problems for you. There is a person that comes into the reading that they work really hard. They're not paid that much for the work that they do. In other words, they're one of these, like, well, maybe low wage or something like that. They struggle with the pay, like their earnings, a person that's financially strained, and they, for some reason, are still helpful though. They themselves are not content with where they are or what they do. You can see that they're very tattered in the way they feel. But for some reason, there's still a bit of light and strength that they offer others. So there's something beneficial from this person toward you. So maybe it's someone you get advice from, or maybe someone that you hang out with. Maybe it's someone related to you. They're not at their best, but they still are helpful. And this talks about a person, offering some kind of idea or open door, or some in some way they help guide you, and they might not even know it. This person seems quite humble to me, in a sense. There is a married couple, or maybe they're just a relationship. Maybe it's just a love relationship. But I kind of say married couple, but I meant like there's a love relationship couple that for some reason within your reach, they can be a great big help as well. The reading ends with the warning of a legal situation. So maybe eviction, or maybe it's when a person is put between a rock and a hard place financially. It can be a repo, it can be, credit, debt. I'm not sure your finances, but there's something where there's a legal stress. Legal is not always something that has a court case. Sometimes it's papers filed formally because of stress, hardship, problems. It can also, of course, be a quarrel where the authorities are called and it's reported, and we already know that there's sneaky people, and there's stress involved. So anything that can become overheated, that in the next couple of months, try to appease it, because it does look dire, if it's not appeased. So that being said, there are a couple of things. There is a person that is in a relationship that they don't want you to know about. And I don't mean romantic, it can be an arrangement. So there's someone that plays a direct role in your life in somewhere in this theme. Because remember, we went at the reading kind of vague. You didn't really give me a question, you just gave me a scenario. So I'm giving you the energy surrounding the scenario. Okay? So it's really not like a yes or a no. It's more just like these are the energies and this is what's going to happen. All right? So there is a person that's surfacing and they are withholding information from you. So maybe they have signed a lease somewhere else, or maybe they did, maybe they filed some paperwork with your name on it and you don't know it. It could be a check, it can be a contract, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, but this is a time where, to be aware of it. So if there is a critical piece of information that someone is withholding from telling you, maybe there's a reason. So you would know about the person. It's not like you're going to be, I'm not talking about identity theft or something like that, because that would show up in a reading and that's very clear. This is different, I would say I do check for a couple other things. So it's not my place to tell anyone spiritual things, that unless they ask and whatever. I know you asked about your team, but I did look for a couple things. I just want to, I don't want to, because I don't know you, so I don't want to upset you or anything. But there are some things spiritually that you're doing that go against your center. So the magical stuff, some people right away, the stuff they start doing really aligns with their energy, and sometimes people are thrown off. So I do see that there are some things that are building that can cause more chaos for you. Only you would know with time, not something you would know now, because this is something later. So either cleanses didn't go right, or maybe there's something, that you're tinkering with it. Maybe it's missing something or whatever, but that's for you to explore. But your current spiritual, energy check is that you're going opposite from what is aligning you. Okay. That would be it, really. So I would guess the solution on the housing is Friends will solve it. You will have a solution. You will, don't stop trying to get your result. The big flag here is a very tricky individual in a situation that can appear out of nowhere in your life. So you could find yourself in a hot boat, it's not for you to, sometimes, I'll tell the person, you should really go do this, you should really go do that. There's nothing really you should do. It's just awareness. Obviously this is something that's going to unfold naturally. What I don't like is that, I guess it's the whole bad guy of the reading, or the culprit, the trickery, a person that's being maybe a bully, or someone very rude, someone that's causing strain, is what I see. So whether that's a family member, whether that's an old family problem that doesn't go away, whether it's dealing with a family group, whatever it is, it's binding you to this type of, this past, this heaviness. So I would say that the direction that you should move forward is a new environment, as much as you can. So this talks about new direction, new circle of people. It's kind of like a revamp. So we are in eclipse season, and everybody's chart is triggered and affected differently, but eclipses bring change to everyone at some level. So a lunar eclipse just ended, and a solar is beginning soon, and it's very powerful between the eclipse season, or the eclipses, sorry. So this again lets me know that there's something that you're definitely going to be adjusting, purging, reevaluating, and changing in your life anyway. So that's the atmosphere anyway, regardless of the reading itself. I would say that would be the reading. Do you have any concerns about anything that was brought up, or anything that you need me to clarify? Because, like I said, it started vague, and it's a little bit vague. I mean, it's clear, but it's vague. Usually I'm very right on the point, but this seems like it's just addressing a shitty environment. Oh, I forgot something else. I'm so sorry. I forgot to address a couple of points. This talks about very strong financial hardship. And it can be, direct, or it can be influential, but this talks about strain, like a bad time with that. I mean, life has ups and downs, but this is just completely, this kind of omen, it can be someone that may want to, rely on you more for your resources. It can be this is how you find yourself right now. But there's an influence here. So this can be a friend. It's almost like, I don't think you would be someone's bank, or let someone, use you. But in some way, shape, or form, it talks about misery loves misery. Misery loves company. It talks about hardship. So this is something that I look for when it's surrounding, the people of the quadrant when I'm doing the reading. And that is also there. And then also something else. It does talk about a connection that you're ignoring. So I'm not sure your pronouns, but I'm assuming you're female. But I don't want to assume. You know, it's up to you to identify however you're comfortable. I will address you however you're comfortable. But I see it seems like you're a female because there's okay, you're they them. Okay. So I will correct that. So I'm sorry about that. Have you you know, in other words, are you doing medical changes or it's just like that? Like it's just because the reason I'm asking is because, well, first of all, I do read for clients that are going through those changes, and I've met a lot of different on the broad spectrum of identities, and they all have a different story, and it's very unique. You know, nobody's the same. Everybody's different. Everybody has a different journey, like I call it. And also the goal of their journey is different than maybe where they find themselves currently, which I think is important because I think that people always want the answer, well, you know, what is it now versus the vision, right? So that's very important because I see a person that's interested in you and they seem male to me. So I didn't want to, you know, so whatever it is, I'm just gonna, I don't know how they identify. So I'm just going to use the energy that I see, masculine energy in the person that I'm seeing. So that's why I'm saying I don't know what your preference is. But whatever it is, I'm going to just tell you. I do see a person, they seem masculine energy where they, you know, it seems like they are interested in you, but they haven't vocalized it. So if you are in a relationship already, then obviously, you know, this falls on deaf ears because you're already directed to your person. But if you're not, it would be important for you to understand that, you know, they have interest in you. And you deal with them a lot. So it's not like, you know, so either you're going to have an online pattern and they see you in the online space, or they see you in real life, whatever it is. This person would be interested in you. It's not like a crush, but they just would like it. I think it would develop into something like that if they, you know, if there was more stimuli in that direction. So that would be it really, unless you had a question for me, unless you had something specific. You said friendship. The only places I see friendships are that you have some pretty crappy ones now. You know, I just don't see the value of the energy where it needs to be. Friendships are about growing together, evolving together, respecting each other's space, all the good things you would want from a friendship. I just see that right now there's a lot of toxic energy around you. But I do see friendships beginning. So whatever newness or change you're making, I already see that you have, this is, you know, there's friends coming. So I don't know if you're going to join some kind of group or something, because this also has a group kind of feel to it. Maybe it's in your spiritual path. Maybe it's a place you hang out. Whatever it is, that's the good friendship stuff I see. The only other thing with friendships I see is that there's that person that I talked about that I use the word tattered, they are overworked, they don't make a lot, they struggle financially a lot, but they have a light in a way to give like advice. They're very dependable, they care very deeply. That's why it seems like family. I saw the couple, so I don't know what that's about, but they seem to be very helpful to you. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's just friends or family, but it's almost like family. Those are the friendship themes that I see in the reading. I don't see any other ones. If you're asked specifically, did you want to ask about a specific friend? So did you want me to call you Corvus or Martin or just, wait, there was Cat, right? No, not Cat. I'm sorry, I want to address you the way that you, Well, no, that's Jacqueline. Where was your... Oh, I don't have a text from you. Wait. Okay, Dunes cat. You want me to call you Dunes? Oh, Corvus. Okay, that's fine. So, did you have a specific question for me, Corvus? Anything that you want me to kind of open up and take a look at, or anything you're concerned about? Okay. Let's go back to the person that I said that was of interest to you. I mean, I'm sorry, that they're interested in you. It could be feminine, but they identify more with a masculine type energy. So like I said, let's take the identity out because I don't know them. I'm not speaking to them, so I don't know what they're comfortable with. I had to check because I had to check if that was the Aquarius. The answer is no. So that means I'm going to do the energy with the Aquarius separately, okay? So 1 second. Let's do it with the dice. I feel they do have a crush on someone, or they had a crush on someone they worked with. I don't think it worked out. The role in their life is they're aware you're attracted to them. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but they have a suspicion and awareness. That's all I can say. They're aware that you have some kind of interest or attraction to them. I don't see anything moving super fast with that for right now, unless, of course, the game plan changes. But, you know, there could be potential in the future. I'm not seeing that at this point. What I'm seeing at this point is that there's too much distance. Like I don't see the connection, you know, like gluing together. I don't see, you know, things taking off and gradually just becoming a couple. I see things kind of stagnant, like functioning but stagnant. So I would say friend level right now. So that's on the Aquarius. So their role in your life right now would be friend. Because that's the only thing, yeah, it would be friend. At least they would introduce you that way. They are my friend. Yeah, so it seems if it's not romantic, it's still the same answer. If it's platonic, you know, I'm trying to tell you that if it's a platonic question because there's no interest there, what's their role in your life? I still see that there's a connection, but it's distant. When it comes to their love life, the Aquarius, there was someone they had a tie with in their job. Okay. The Aquarius, that's okay. The Aquarius it's still the same answer, but maybe I explained it thinking it was love. It's still the same answer. So let me explain. So the Aquarius shows that they have had in the past, not recently, but in the past, there was something in their love life, their their love interest or an issue with their love life at their job. So that's the first part. So either they found someone attractive and they were mistreated, or they had an involvement with someone at work, or maybe someone at work was having a problem with them flirting with someone on the phone. Somewhere in there, this person's love life was an issue at their job. Usually it's when they have a situation with somebody at their job where you sleep with someone you're working with, usually. So that's something that just comes in as an identifier. Does it matter? Not really, but it's something that to them made them bitter. Okay? Now, their relationship with you, I thought you wanted a romantic check. Okay, because you said, what is their role in your life? Enemies don't have roles in your life. But that's okay, because I don't really ask questions based on the words of the client. I ask on the energy of the person the client's talking about. Why is that? Because someone will come into my stream and they will be a homewrecker and they will tell me that they're the wife, and I don't buy it. So I learned many, many years ago, I must have been about 11, that although I didn't do love readings so young, but I did readings in general, I learned around 11 years old, never trust the question of the client. Always just whoever they're asking about or whatever they're asking about is where you're going to go with the energy, and whatever Spirit says, Spirit says. So I'm not so hung up on the question, whether you love them, whether you hate them, but just to let you know the way you worded it, enemies don't have roles in your life. That they are not a role, you see. But anyway, so this is the question. This is the answer. I still see a connection to them. Whether you hate them, whether you not, there's a connection. Meaning that you either need to work together, you either fall under the same department, or there's something that is tying the connection, to you and this person. So you have to deal with each other maybe, and you don't want to. I'm not sure the whole relationship dynamics there, but there is a connection, but there's also a distance. So they're aware that you feel a certain way about them. I thought that it was romantic, so I figured I guess they feel you're in love with them. But if you're not, then, they're aware of how you feel. So they don't know, they know that you don't know how they feel, but they are aware of what you feel. So this person is very aware that whatever it is that you feel about them, this is not a reading on what you feel. I'm reading on them. They're aware that you don't like them, or maybe that you do, or whatever it is that you feel. They have an awareness of it, which lets me know that they must be a water sign. So this person is either going to be a Pisces in some of their, sun, moon, or rising, a Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising, or a Cancer, sun, moon, or rising. It's not that other signs can't tell. That's not true. Every sign has high-level intuition possibility. But this person has water because they pierced right through. This is usually Pisces. They can feel what you feel, but you don't know what they feel. Now, if you want me to find out what they feel, I can do that as well. But this is, the way I asked it. Let me tell you something. The way you say that you know a lot about divination. No, you don't. I will say that without any qualms, because the way you ask questions is not how you talk to spirits or deities. I just want you to learn that from a veteran of over 30 years. You ask a lot of vague stuff, and it's okay. We work around it, but that's not how it works. I'm going to put that thing in that one time. Should I do that thing, over there with that person? That's not how you ask spirits. They don't have legs. They don't have ears. They don't smell. They don't have eyes. That's not how you ask spirits. But that's okay. That's okay. There's always a learning curve. All right, let's find out what this person feels about you. Actually, I'll do the runes. Okay. This is pointing to a fight. This is pointing to a fight or a discussion that has happened. Obviously, when you hear what I have to say, this points to a situation. This already tells me you've had beef in one particular argument or conversation that went awry. This is what I'm pointing to. Even if you would have had 50 of them, I'm talking about one. This person feels that you are not fair, that you want the rules to bend to you, that you are overbearing and you are kind of like a bully, but not a bully like, that kind of like making fun of people, but just like one of those people that it's my way or the highway, very strong character. Like, this talks about him, I'm saying they, I don't know who they are or what, how they identify. So I respect that very much, but I'm just saying, it seems like they feel that you want to turn the, how should I say, the group or the rules, and you want people to agree with you. So it's almost like not only do you want to, whatever this scenario was that occurred, this person feels like not only are you stubborn and you want to bend the rules and for everyone to see it like you see it. So yeah, and you also don't let, almost like a Taurus. Are you a Taurus? Are you? What's your sun sign? This is very Taurus. It's my way. I'm not bending. You're not a Taurus? Okay. In any way? There's no Taurus in your chart? You don't, well, Taurus is in everyone's chart, even if it's empty and there's no planets. It always serves a purpose in your life. But what I'm saying is it one of your identities, or do you have something in Taurus that's significant? Oh, you're not you're not familiar with astrology? Okay, I'm sorry for that. I didn't mean to ask astrology questions. Some people don't like to follow that stuff, and that's why I do tarot. Okay, don't worry about it. Aquarius to Aquarius, yeah, it can work, but it can also clash. It depends. It depends on what decan, But this is very Taurus. Okay, believe you me. I am not backing down. This is my way, and you're annoying me, and I'm going to show you that you're annoying me, and I'm not going to let you forget that, So it's a person driving their point. From what you recall, you saw it like one time or something. Oh, you should really take a deep look. Yeah, definitely. It's very, very good to be familiar with that. But so this is what the opinion would be. They're angry at you for the way you handle things. That's what it boils down to. The fact that it's your way, or and you're not going to bend. And you also want to influence and drive your point, and then you want to have everybody else see your point. So I don't know. All right. Thank you so much, Corvus, for choosing me to do your reading. I appreciate it. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know before I sign off. I usually am here till 4. I did run over time, but that's okay. Sometimes that happens. You're going to get your stuff resolved. So that's a good thing. It's going to be resolved no matter what. All right. Thank you so much.